So this is interesting. They kind of undertook some market testing, and they came up with some bullet points. Segregation from general traffic is important. Yep, absolutely. Bus, mass transit, rail have to be part of an integrated system. Yep. Preference depends on capacity need. Yep, that's good. Technologies exist for autonomous operation. Uh-oh, the siren's going off. But only in a fully segregated environment. Mass transit systems will require interface with car and or pedestrians, which will continue to need a driver for safety and passenger assistance reasons. So they've written it off. So autonomy, they've gone, oh yeah, it's rubbish. Forget that. Good. Battery technologies are advancing rapidly, and it's realistic to plan for systems without overhead wires. See, which is fair enough. I'm uncomfortable with battery-powered trams because you're adding a load of weight that, for the most part, isn't used, and then it is used for a little bit. I prefer wires everywhere, but it is an enabling technology that kind of solves some problems. So I'm in two minds about it. Obviously, the smaller the section of unelectrified you have, the smaller your batteries can be. So there is a benefit to, it's not just you have batteries, therefore your thing immediately becomes horrible and heavy. It's So this is good. This is something that the Cambridge Autonomous Metro has just miserably failed to do, which is pull its head out of its own arse and actually look to the wider world and ask people, because those, to be fair, are five fairly sensible bullet points. And this leads to one of my favourite pages. It's a page where they're talking about what constitutes a metro or a mass transit system. Also, credit to them for not saying West Yorkshire Metro System. They are saying West Yorkshire Mass Transit, which makes me happy because it means that I don't have to hold them to the metro thing like I had to South Wales. Apologies to anyone who might be listening and gets upset about that. It still shouldn't be called a metro, even though it's it'd be better if it was a South Wales mass transit system and had a branding and blah blah blah. Anyway, right, let's move on. Advanced bus. So they've got 4 different things here, 4 different what they've called candidate technologies for West Yorkshire Mass Transit. I'm going to do them in order of I'm going to do them in the order on the page, frankly. So they've got advanced bus rapid transit, which is a fancy word for saying buses. And it kind of means buses / trolley buses. It's saying potential to be battery or hydrogen powered. So actually what they mean there, if they are looking to just battery or hydrogen power them, these are just buses, folks. They're just buses. So it's talking about the fact that it's low-floored vehicles. It says it's a developing technology. Well, no, buses aren't a developing technology. So that's the advanced bus rapid transit candidate technology, which is just buses, folks. Light rail / tram. So this is saying can run on street, can also be segregated, can be integrated with urban realm green spaces. Steel wheels on steel rails, absolutely. If it ain't got steel wheels on steel rails, it ain't a tram, folks. Low floor vehicles, multiple doors. The good thing about this, so we'll come to this we'll come to the good thing about this page in a second. So they talk about the fact it's got overhead line, doesn't need to be end-to-end if battery or hydrogen powered as well. It's a proven technology, and they give some example cities. Where else? We're going for tram train. So this is sort of saying, yes, it can run on street, but it also can run on the same tracks as trains, steel on steel. This is where the challenge comes. They acknowledge the fact that this means that they have to have high floor to use existing platforms or low floor but serving new platforms. So there's an acknowledgement of an incompatibility there, which is good. Overhead line again, but can be battery. Yep, fine. Proven technology, but interface with rail can make challenging to implement. There's a realistic acknowledgement there, which is good. And then they list some more cities. And then the last thing is a thing which I obviously need to do an episode on because, ultralight rail, and Richard Smith's already pointed out. So the thing about ultralight rail is saying can run on street and it can run on segregated alignments, steel on steel. But the key thing, so it's saying, it can have overhead line, but it doesn't need to be from end to end if battery, developing technology, none in the UK. Coventry system is in development. The thing that's important in here, on this page is really good, is they're talking about system capacity. So they're saying, they're realising the fact that the thing that drives the choice here is primarily capacity. If you want to have a high capacity system, then buses and ultralight rail don't cut it. And so it's saying here ultralight rail is 20 to 30 seats, can carry up to 70 in total. And then whereas with tram, it's saying it's got capacity of up to around 200 people. Buses, it's saying capacity of up to around 120. That's kind of optimistic, to be honest. It's usually a bit lower than that. 80 or 90 is or sometimes 100 as I've seen for the kind of the fancy buses, if you like. So, isn't Manchester Metrolink technically Tramtrade? Does it share any tracks with heavy rail? I don't know if it does. If it shares tracks with heavy rail, even if it's freight, then it kind of does count. But I can't remember. Does it anywhere? Yeah, Richard Smith, you're right. The tram train, non-tram train question is an important one for West Yorkshire because of how much rail there is around that you potentially need to incorporate into any system. You're absolutely right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Could you have a rubber-tired tram? No. So, no, Uncritical Simon, no, you can't. So the metros in Paris are rubber-tired because Michelin wanted to sell rubber tire to the Paris Metro. And also because their stations were too close together, so they needed to accelerate more quickly than the traction motors and braking systems could deal with at the time with just steel-on-steel traction. It's entirely redundant technology now, and really they should strip all the rubber stuff out of the Paris Metro. It's junk. So, ultralight rail. Yeah, we'll see where they talk about that shortly.